Hi, welcome back to The Edge of Conception. My name is Liz and I am a certified nurse midwife, and I like to talk to you all about pregnancy, conception, fertility, gynecological concerns with the additional layer of what is your mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of your body and yourself really also calling you forth. So if you love stuff like this, please stick around. Today we're talking about stress in fertility, specifically stress in the scope of fertility, and we could really just go off. So I'm so excited for this. Let's get into like the actual evidence-based information and what we know to be true through the lens of medicine, midwifery, care, management, and things like that. As I said during this, and if you want more personalized information, I am really pushing you to take the personal steps to seek out care with a physician, with a nurse midwife, with a physician associate, or a nurse practitioner, so that you can be managed for your particular symptoms, your particular desires, your particular standpoint. We're going to go through all those things and ask internal reflective questions to really dig at like what should you be asking your physician, what you should be asking your midwife, what you should be asking your healthcare provider, and then deeply going into the mental, spiritual, emotional lens of it all. Eek! I'm so excited. Anyway, so I want to start off by like, what is this about? Like, where does this come from? We know that women who are always trying to get pregnant, women who want to get pregnant, if that's you, if that's someone you know, if that's something that you've dealt with in the past, right? We have always said like stress is a big indicator. Like, don't be stressed out. If you're gonna be stressed out, it's gonna be worse. Da, 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 da. And there is much validity to that comment and to that sometimes throwaway statement, which is not really helpful to hear in the moment when you're trying to conceive. Like, well, don't be stressed out about it. Maybe that's why you're not conceiving. There is some truth to that. Maybe not in always the way that it's said, but let's get into the full truth. Cortisol, the stress hormone. It can directly interfere with the reproductive hormones like estrogen and progesterone needed to not only run your menstrual cycle, but also run your fertility. And when cortisol levels remain elevated for long extended periods of time, okay, they can disrupt ovulation and make conception more difficult. The word I want to really highlight for you right now is chronic. Chronic is the big word. This is not about a bad week or just a momentary couple hours of stress. This is stress that is very, like, it's set in stone. You are always stressed to the point that you're so stressed that it's not stress anymore. You're just at a heightened state of inflammation and a heightened state that is now your new normal. That is chronic stress. Most people will always tell you, oh, I'm stressed. If you've met someone who's chronically stressed, they don't use the word stress anymore. They just say, this is just how it is. There is a point where acute stress becomes chronic because you're always acutely stressed and you've normalized your body to understanding that this is just what's needed to get what I want done. That's really the big thing. And this is not allowing your nervous system to ever fully switch off. Your body is always on alert indefinitely. And if this sounds like you may have chronic stress. But you've normalized it so much that you're just like, I'm just always up. I'm always up. I'm always awake. I'm always doing the thing. Da, 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 da. We know how common and how overlooked stress is. Research shows that women with higher perceived stress have longer menstrual cycles and are more likely to experience anovulatory cycles, meaning cycles where you're bleeding, but you didn't actually ovulate before you bled, right? We assume just because we saw blood that we ovulated, that's not promised to us. That's anovulatory. So you may still be having your regular monthly or your regular cycles each month and you're bleeding, you're having your period. You may not be ovulating each time, which definitely causes an issue with fertility. Plus, there could also be structural things that go beyond stress and things like that. But in this video, I really want to focus in on stress in relationship to fertility. For high achieving women, professionals, this is particularly very impressive for you and significant for you because your stress levels are not some dramatic thing. You don't go into moments of like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out, da, 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 just because something happened and then blah, 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 blah. No, you've built a life. I'm not even going to sugarcoat you. You built a life, a full structured life around stress. Stress is all up and down your life. Stress is your coffee. Stress is your rush to work. Stress is going in and out of meetings without taking a break. Stress is walking up and down in your shoes and your heels and your flats and going to the bathroom and not being able to breathe and moving around and someone's calling you on the phone. That is your structured life. Coming home, having to cook, having to do this, having to talk to your partner, stress. It's infiltrated. It is a full-blown pillar of your life, stress. I'm not even going to lie to you. And you have built your schedule around it. You built your standards around it. You built your path of life around it. And it doesn't look like a crisis. It's not actually a problem to you because it looks like success. It looks like success to you. And your body is responding to it regardless how it looks like on the outside. Stress is stress to your body. You being successful or in crisis, your body doesn't know and frankly doesn't care because what it is being fed is stress. What it lives off of is stress. You are stressed chronically. So what does this feel like? Many symptoms of fatigue, weight gain, especially around the abdomen, poor sleep, mood sleeps, irregular periods. If you saw my video before about the menstrual cycle being a vital sign and being important, you've fully muted. You haven't even turned down the volume. You've fully muted the symptoms that have been pinging off for years, for decades. And you've been managing all these symptoms probably, or you know women who've been managing these symptoms individually with supplements, with sleep hygiene, with caffeine, with just the willpower and the hustle, the drive to just get it done, get her done. You got to do it. Who else is going to do it? Only I can do it. Like, right? I'm the only captain on this ship. Mind you, the ship has many captains, but you are placed in a role, if not an actual role or a perceived role, and sometimes both, of I'm the only one who can do it. I got to get it done. Nobody has sat with you and actually said like, yeah, your small habits, you doing this, you doing that, this being a perception, this being a reality, and connected all these dots to show that these are not separate small little stress points. They make an entire line of dots on your timeline of just, this is the constant message of chronic stress. These dots to you may be perceived as your life. You are chronically stressed. So who affects and where care usually falls short? Chronic stress may negatively affect ovulation that we spoke about, ovarian function, the function of your ovaries to actually be triggered by the hormones to then trigger creating the follicles and then actually picking the dominant follicle with the dominance of estrogen to then cause ovulation. Yeah, your ovaries are doing a lot of work. A lot of things are doing a lot of work during the menstrual cycle. Your ovaries are doing a lot of work. Your uterus is doing a lot of work. Your cervical mucus and your vagina is doing a lot of work. There's a lot of work going on just within the menstrual phase. And this can also definitely affect, as I said, the endometrial development, the lining of your actual uterus, and the possible implementation of a viable egg, right? Or a fertilized egg specifically. And that is the full reproductive picture, not just where you are ovulating, but whether the environment is conducive to conception. Is this an optimal environment? Is this the best environment for us? Is this the environment that can really be helpful to us? And in many studies, they've also noticed that acute stress and chronic stress significantly and negatively affect egg retrieval outcomes with IVF, and follicular cortisol was found to affect multiple stages of that process and that inability to retrieve eggs. So the conventional care, what may be laid out to you if you went to your midwife, if you went to your physician for your care, is to investigate the source of your stress, right? They're going to ask you, what life structures have you created that are driving this cortisol overload? And the prescription would be lifestyle modifications, things that you already know to be true. You're just going to be told, which you may need to be told, that you need to get better sleep. You need to get a more balanced diet. You need to exercise. You need to really manage your stress and delegate, automate, remove different things from your life to mitigate how much weight and pressure you feel on your shoulders. This does not sound like a solution. It's definitely not a medication. It's definitely not a supplement. And that is what the thing that really, 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 really sucks. Because we want a medication. We want a thing. And it's not that. Stress management is acknowledged in fertility care all the time. Mindfulness, yoga, acupuncture. These are things that will be suggested for you. And they are helpful. And they address your symptoms but they don't get to the source of your stress. You can meditate all you want in the morning and return to your life once they say open your eyes and go back to being stressed out. What you just did was just a small moment of reprieve, a small moment of R&R. You didn't actually get to the source. You didn't actually get to the root of your chronic stress. And that is what's needed to allow your body to tamper down and go back into from a state of crisis to a state of stability, to then allow all your hormones, especially your cortisol, to finally return to a normal baseline. Cortisol is good. You need cortisol to even just wake up. That's the circadian rhythm. Elevated long-term stretches of cortisol is what is causing the problems here. And it's not just related to your fertility. It's causing so many other medical conditions and that we know, and chronic medical conditions, cardiovascular conditions, hypertension, and gut imbalances. We know this is all caused because of chronic stress. So I want to really ask you what you may never have been asked, which is, what is in your life actually asking of you? What is your life actually asking of you? And what is it? And what is it asking of you that is sustainable? So let's do a quick recap of everything we just said, right? We know that medicine and evidence-based medicine, we acknowledge the power of stress and how it affects fertility. It's rarely going to be asked. A great provider will always ask you how stressed you are, and may not be as direct as like, are you stressed out? But it may be asked in other multitude of ways of like, how is your sleep? How is your work? Do you like your job? Do you like your relationship? Do you like your partnership? To all get to the same answer of, sounds like you're stressed. You as a high achieving woman, you as a high performance woman, your stress is very invisible to you because it is coupled with your drive, your ambition, and your success. We also know your nervous system cannot tell the difference between actual and perceived stress, between an actual threat to your life, which then boosts your cortisol because you need to like do something, versus something related to work or something within your relationship or something related to your family. It's the same thing to your body. You're just pinging off the receptors. Your body is not something that needs to be overhauled and is broken and things like that. It's a very rational, very pragmatic system, and it's trying to protect you from conceiving into a life that does not feel safe enough to bring a child into. What would your nervous system need to feel safe enough to create life? That's another deeper question you can ask. And I want to go even a level deeper, not to ruffle your feathers, but to allow space for the inner reflection and to bring up some of the parts of you that are maybe asking to be brought up and jumped out, that it's kind of the quiet part. And it is that you may have been treating your stress as a personality trait rather than a signal indicator that something's wrong. We know plenty of women in our lives that feel vindicated when someone acknowledges, someone validates, someone sees their stress. It is a boost to the feminine ego when we are like, oh my God, girl, you're so stressed. Oh my God, you're the only person who saw it. Of course I've been stressed. But have you changed your pattern? Or have you just been using it as a great little beacon of, yeah, look at me. I'm so this, I'm so that, and I'm so stressed out. Ha ha ha. We even see some women get irritated with their partners because their partners are not stressed, yet they are feeling stressed. I've heard women say all the time, all over social media, I hate seeing my boyfriend, I hate seeing my husband be at rest, at peace. Like, why is he not stressed out? We want someone to be stressed out with us. It's a great trauma bond. You're stressed out, I'm stressed out. We can be stressed out together. Not we can help each other get to the root of our stress to decouple it. No, we can be stressed out together. We see each other. You have been optimized around your stress. You've been coddling your stress. You've been making exceptions to allow for your stress to continue to live and breathe and be a whole personality, a whole thing next to you this whole time. Instead of investigating, time out. Everyone tells me I'm stressed out. Why? Instead of really asking yourself the deeper question of, do I want to be stressed out? Do I want to remain as I am? Do I want to remain stressed? People, like I said, you know what I'm talking about. You know that stress causes a lot of concern when it comes to your health and to your physical body and to your lifespan. Your lifespan. Stress. Yet you haven't done anything. You haven't been anything. You haven't created anything. You haven't destroyed anything to get to the root of why you're stressed. Does a part of you like it? Because it's one, either so normalized, or two, you get so much validation and outward, or it just works because you've coupled your success with stress. You coupled your ability to attain and ascertain your life, your house, your car, your things, your physical peace, right? I'm so peaceful, yet you're so stressed. You are so peaceful, yet you are so stressed. The life you built to prove to yourself may be the exact life your body is not wanting to accommodate any longer. Back to the point I made about how rational our mind is and how pragmatic it is. This applies in that same way. Your body is sending you signals. Your body is sending you reality. Your body is sending you symptoms and signs to further investigate and to get to the bottom of. because it rationally and pragmatically and logically knows this is not a life that is sustainable for us. Is your emotions driving your stress? Is your spiritual relationship driving your stress? Is your mental outlook driving your stress? And the final point I want to add to this is that conception readiness is not just a physical thing. It's not just about the diets. It's not about the supplements. It's not about the weight. It's not about those things only. It is about your mental readiness, your mental aptitude, your mental preparation. It is about your emotional regulation, intelligence, your spiritual discernment, and your spiritual acuity to know for yourself, this is a lifetime journey I'm about to embark on. It's beyond just, oh, I'm trying to conceive. It is, I'm trying to become a mother to a child, a mother to my child. Is the nervous system's assessment of your life accurate to say, yeah, you want all those things, but you're not actually mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually ready for it? Is your body telling you you're not ready for it? And are you willing to listen and truly rearrange your life? Truly rearrange your life so that you can have what you want. The same way that you've rearranged your life to attain the things you want with stress. Can you rearrange your life to attain the things you now want for your future? Motherhood, a child, a relationship, growth, love, peace, chaos, excitement, joy, tears, laughter. Can you accommodate your life? Can you rearrange your life to allow for what you want? So here are some more deeper questions. Stress as the body's personal veto, right? It is not punishing you. It is protecting you. How does that feel? The other deeper question is, what would change in your life if your body's stress response was taken seriously as an intelligence rather than a managed inconvenience? The last deeper question is, when you want to conceive from a regulated nervous system versus the version of you who's conceived from a chronically activated one, you know you will have a different, not actually like a physically different pregnancy, but also a different mental, emotional, and spiritual pregnancy before it even begins. If you know that, which version of yourself are you choosing? More reflective questions to ask is, if your stress level is chronic, what is it actually responding to in your life? 2, what would you need to change, not manage, for your body to feel genuinely safe? And 3, has anyone ever asked you why you are stressed, not just offered you tools to cope with it? I'm offering you that chance to ask now. Yourself, be that anyone. Why am I stressed? And this work of actually investigating what your nervous system is responding to, not managing it, but understanding it, is the root. This is root work. This is root alchemy. This is Edge. And this is what I built Edge for. And this is what I understand to be true when you allow your space, when you allow yourself the space to really dig deep and understand for yourself, why do I do the things that I do and how that does not work for the results I want. So if you're interested in Edge, you can find the experience link down below in the description box. So in general, I want to leave you off with this new understanding that stress and fertility are not a simple story. It is not just relax and it will happen. What your body's responding to and what it does need is to feel safe enough to create, safe enough to support, safe enough to grow, safe enough to be the mother you want to be the woman you want to be the person you want to be. That is the question worth sitting with yourself. Do I trust my body enough to lead me down the path of becoming who I said, who I desire, and who I know I want to be? I know I can be. I know I'm able to be. And am I willing to let go of what is actually around my life so my life can rearrange to allow for this new person, this new version of me to step through? Those are the deeper questions. I am so happy that we were able to have this combo. Please share, and I would love to know your comments down below. Eek! And also more suggestions to add to this Edge of Conception series that we're creating together. I think the next video I'm going to talk about conception, preconception and nutrition and things like that. I feel like that'd be a really good space to like get more into it. You know what I mean? Anyway, I love to see your comments. I'm so appreciative of them. And please subscribe and share, as I said, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.